Hey, thanks for coming by. I'm Kenny Polcari, and some of you may know me as a New York Stock Exchange institutional flow broker, and some of you may know me as a CNBC television commentator, but today you're going to know me as Kenny the Cook. I'm so glad you're here because today we're going to make one of my favorite dishes. It's a rigatoni and a tomato sweet sausage cream sauce. And for this you need only a couple of items. So we've got our onions, we've got the garlic, absolutely you need the white wine, we've got some olive oil, the rigatoni, the cream, the fresh grated Parmegiana, sweet Italian sausage, no fennel, and we've got plenty of plum tomatoes. So to get started with this dish, we need to saute the garlic and the onions. I'm going to let the garlic just cook just for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to add the onions. Now I'm going to let this saute. The onion is going to have to saute and get soft, so it's going to be a good 8 or 10 minutes. Keep the heat on medium high to high. Just make sure you're here so you don't burn the onions. Now that the onions are sufficiently nice and soft, and you can see they're actually golden brown, it's time now to add the sausage, because I'm going to brown the sausage meat right in here with the onions and the garlic. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to grab our sausage meat, sweet Italian sausage, again no fennel, and I'm going to start to add the sausage to this onion mixture. And I'm going to try to break it up as I add it, and then we're going to brown it up. Now this is 2 pounds of sausage that I use, and typically that's for maybe 1.5 pounds of pasta. Once I put all this sausage in, this will take about 10 minutes for the sausage to brown, and then I'm going to add the white wine. Let it deglaze the pan a little bit and give it a little bit of flavor before I add the tomatoes. So now you can see the sausage is all nice and browned up, and now I'm going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper before we add the white wine. Now I'm getting ready to add the white wine. It's going to do 2 things. Add a little bit of flavor, and it's going to deglaze the pan. I'm probably going to add about 1/2 cup, maybe 3/4 cup of white wine. And I'm going to bring it to a boil. I'm going to let the alcohol burn off before I add the tomatoes. God, that is so perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to start to take these plum tomatoes that we have, and I'm going to crush them very, very quickly in the blender. You don't want to puree them, you want them still to be a little bit chunky, so you're going to do it on a pulse mode. That's just about it, because you still want it to be chunky when you put it in the sauce. You'll see it in a second. In the meantime, I've got the water boiling over here for the pasta. You can see that's almost ready to boil. It's salted. Remember, you always need to salt the water. So that's salted water. I'm about to add the cream. And when you add the cream, you've got to turn the heat down way low so that the cream doesn't curdle when you put it in. You stir it in slowly as you add the cream. But you'll see as we do that, you'll see how it all comes together. It is really perfect. The next step is to add the cream, boil the pasta, put it all together, and then serve it. This is light cream. You can use heavy cream if you want. The heavy cream gives it a really, really thick flavor. The light cream I found is always better to use for this dish. I'm going to turn the heat off for a minute. I'm going to stir the sauce, and then I'm going to slowly add the cream. And I'm going to keep stirring as I add. And the cream should be room temperature. You don't want to put really cold cream into the sauce immediately. You want to take the cream out of the refrigerator, let it sit out, let it get almost to room temperature. And now you see as you add it, the color here turns nice and pink. And you want to give it a chance to all blend together. The cream, the tomatoes, the onions, the sausage. I've turned the heat off for a minute until I've got it all blended. And then I'm going to add the pasta to the pasta water. So now it's time to add the rigatoni. Now in this dish I use rigatoni. It's really interesting. Don't use a long pasta. Don't use linguine. Don't use spaghetti. It doesn't have the same texture. It doesn't come out the same way. You want a short tubular pasta, whether you use rigatoni. You could use a penne, but I like the way the rigatoni looks. It's a thicker, bigger, more robust pasta. So when you ultimately serve it, it really, really not only looks delicious, but then it tastes delicious. I'm going to let that boil for about 8 minutes because you want the pasta to be al dente. You don't want mushy pasta. And then we're going to add it all together to the sauce. And the other thing you want to do is you never want to drain your pasta water. You always leave the pasta water where it is, because no matter which sauce you use, whether it's this sauce or any other sauce, the pasta tends to suck up the sauce very quickly. And so you can always take the water from the pasta, the water that you boil the pasta in, and add it to the sauce to help liquefy it again, to help thin it out so the pasta doesn't suck up all the sauce all at once. So now we've got the finished dish. We've presented it beautifully in this beautiful wooden bowl. I'm gonna add fresh grated cheese once again, just as the dish is finished. This is the best part, when you put the fresh grated cheese right on top of it. It's so delicious. And remember, you should always have extra cheese at the table for anyone that wants to add it. Now, I remember the first time I made this dish, I was really hungry, and I was craving the sausage and pasta. So I decided I'd put the dish together. I looked through a couple of recipes books. I got some ideas. I made it. It has become one of the classic dishes in my house. Here you go. Enjoy this immensely. It's my pleasure to serve it to you.